Hello and welcome to the Cite View on Asaka Online. My name is Leslie Moore. In today's program, we're looking at the role of culture in diplomacy, how arts, media, as well as music help in shaping narratives and relations between Zimbabwe and the United States of America. Joining me in today's program is Kiera Ammons, who is the Public Diplomacy Officer at the U.S. Embassy in Harare. Thank you so much for taking time to join.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe to start off, what initiatives do you support as the embassy to create relations between the two countries?
Thank you. Yes, the U.S. Embassy in Harare is, through the public affairs section, is very interested in creating people-to-people relationships that benefit both the United States and Zimbabwe and the people of both of those countries. So we do things like programs that send Zimbabweans to the United States on professional exchanges. It can be the Hubert Humphrey Fellowship, could be an international visitor leadership program through which emerging leaders are nominated by people in the embassy based on the coordination and collaboration that we've had. It can be the Fulbright program that sends graduate students to, Zimbabwean graduate students to the United States to complete their graduate studies. It can be, a whole array of exchange programs, all the way from younger students in high school, all the way to graduate and postgraduate, as well as experienced professionals. There's also a lot of promotion of dialogue outside of the context of an exchange program. A lot of Americans will come here to, experts in their field will come here to cultivate that dialogue between our two countries and the people of our countries so that the arts and culture and just general understanding of one another can increase and grow through cultural connections.
And what has been the impact of these exchanges, especially for both countries?
You know, I've spent the last 2 days meeting with alumni here in Bulawayo of a lot of those exchange programs, and I have been so incredibly impressed and grateful to them for, they're the drivers of the impact. I've been grateful to them for doing that, because what a lot of those impacts look like are people thinking in new ways about old problems, thinking about different types of connections, thinking about how to build networks between people, businesses, cultural organizations, and just finding the similarities and the connective tissue between how people interact on a cultural basis. So the alumni are really the impact. And I, hope that at some point you'll have the opportunity to speak with an alumni and ask him or her what that impact has been for them. They tell me that they have a better network. They have a network of people across Africa and across the world, and of course in the United States, that they can go to when they have a common problem or a common opportunity to seek sort of strategies to take the next step.
Yeah, so I think creatives really drive or they play a powerful role, whether it's artists, we're looking at musicians, we're looking at journalists. They play a powerful role in terms of, shaping these narratives between the two countries. But what other ways are you engaging them, maybe post these exchanges as an embassy, to ensure that these programs continue even before or after the exchanges that they would have embarked on?
Yes, thank you. There are many ways that we continue. I always tell the people that have participated in exchange programs, the end of the program is only the beginning of the story. When they come back to Zimbabwe, we continue to follow up with them. There are grant funds for small projects that they want to do that advance shared priorities. They can serve as experts or consulting sort of partners. There's an alumni association here in Zimbabwe of really, really accomplished professionals who are taking their experience to the next level in their very own ways and very led by their initiatives, what they want to accomplish. We've engaged with, for example, through the art of hip hop, we sent some local hip hop stars, Asef and Leemsy Beats, went on the Next Level exchange program to the United States, and have since come back and done workshops and shared that investment. The program is an investment in one person, but through them, in a whole community of people, in a whole ecosystem of people who are kind of working along the same lines. So those are examples of how alumni can go on, or a person can go on a program, and then when they become an alumni of a program, they have more opportunities and access to resources and access to others through the network that's built to drive forward with what they want to accomplish.
But public perception is always that, maybe Zimbabweans, they would go to America, and it seems like we are more on the beneficial side than Americans themselves. But how do you ensure that there's also a balanced approach to this, so that also Americans also benefit a lot from exchanges with Zimbabwe?
That is such an important question. I have benefited on a personal level. Before I was a diplomat, I was a student, like a lot of us are. And in my classroom at my small university, there was a Zimbabwean professor who was a Fulbright professor. And so she had a perspective that I had not heard before and I had not been exposed to before. And so I think that's just one way that these programs are definitely designed to benefit Americans. And that's really just one way that can happen. I have heard stories, alumni here have told me that they have connected with American entrepreneurs who are kind of working on the same things that they are, and really shared strategies and adopted the same technologies or adapted technologies to their initiatives and to their contexts. But they could not have done that alone. The Americans say that as well as in Zimbabwe. And so these programs are specifically designed to enhance the experience of everyone involved, including the Americans on the other end.
Maybe looking ahead, what collaborations do you see growing maybe in the next 4 or 5 years that maybe you would want to ensure that they grow as the embassy?
I think we are at a time when trade is going to become really, really important, and trade is going to become the main focal point of most of our diplomatic efforts. I think that should be seen as a huge opportunity for Zimbabwean entrepreneurs and sort of people who are thinking about how they can benefit from trade, but also what they have to offer a global market, including, of course, the United States. So I think in the future, we're going to look at trade readiness. We're going to continue to engage along the academic lines. The exchange programs that are academic in nature will continue. I think there's a huge opportunity for increased dialogue around key themes that are going to promote mutual prosperity. Our goals, of course, are to make America stronger, safer, more prosperous, and then here in Zimbabwe, highlighting American excellence. So I'm excited that we're going to continue doing things like using film and the arts as catalysts for conversation around those things. We're going to continue promoting American technology to power Zimbabwean businesses, which Zimbabwean entrepreneurs often tell us are some of the most innovative and most affordable and accessible platforms to do the business that they're doing. So I think we're going to continue along those lines. And of course, we have our American space in Gweru, not too far from here. We'll be doing some collaboration with local entities to bring those same resources to Bulawayo in different and innovative and sort of modern ways that maybe don't require the brick and mortar setup of a library, but still offer the same access to resources. So I would encourage Zimbabweans who want to learn more about this to visit that American Corner in Gweru. It's at the public library downtown, but also to follow us on social media, where we post all of our opportunities and all of the things that we have planned for the future, as well as an archive of what we've done before that can be the basis for some creative thinking.
Yeah, I was going to ask how ordinary Zimbabweans can interact with the US Embassy, but I'm sure you have highlighted some of the platforms where they can easily access information. But maybe let's speak now, because it's January and a lot of our students have just graduated from their high school, and they would want to advance and go to university, and maybe some of them would want to go to American universities. Maybe what are some of the opportunities that are there for young Zimbabwean students who would want to pursue that academic route. Yeah.
We have a whole program designed to spotlight those opportunities called Education USA. It can be found on our website, and also an Education USA Facebook page that we keep up to date regularly. I think right now a lot of the opportunities, the starting points for a lot of Zimbabwean students will be online opportunities. American universities are thinking about a global classroom, again, beyond the brick and mortar, beyond the walls of an actual campus. And I think and it's very affordable to do, with still the same sort of richness of content and richness of experience educationally, and connection with people that are studying the same thing all over the world, but on a digital platform. So I think that's a really good starting point. But there's tons of resources available in our American Space in Guero, but also on the website and on social media. Education USA is a great place to find all of those details.
Thank you so much, Kiera, for sharing these insights with us. But I think one thing that I took from this discussion is that cultural diplomacy just goes beyond, the usual government to government, but it's all about people, real stories, about connections, and about how culture can shape narratives between both countries.
Most definitely. Thank you for the opportunity.
That was Kiera Ammons, who's the Public Diplomacy Officer at the U.S. Embassy in Harare, sharing with us socio-cultural ties and how Zimbabweans can also benefit from cultural exchanges with America. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's meet again in the next edition of the Cite View. My name is Leslie Moya. Thank you for watching.